if you can share your observations about how the times have changed from the point of view of performances, as well as the recording process, as well as the song making process.
You know, one thing that I'm really, really, very, very grateful for is that nobody ever told me what I could record and not record. I have recorded everything from Dhamal, which is a 6-language, 6-beat song from the album Senorita, where I did in English, Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, Marathi, and Punjabi. Every verse was in a different language, and the rhythm changed according to that. And we used to have a blast doing it on stage. And dancers would come on in different costumes and do it. And then I had like from Dhamal to Dhuan, which was like a rock and blues tune. Then there's Paree, which had this whole folky influence. Parwana Deewana, which had sitar in it. You know, there was a breakdance tune on Dhuan, on Senorita called Sani Dhamma. And, you know, I had complete and full freedom and just creative freedom to do whatever I wanted. You know, nobody was my manager. And afterwards, I kept thinking maybe it would have been good to have a manager. But, you know, in those days, there was even a limited amount that I would charge for my shows. So I said, if I'm going to just be making this much, I don't want to go give 20% of it to somebody else, you know. And I was young and, you know, just gung-ho. I thought I could do everything. You know, from producing my shows to figuring out whom I'm going to do my album with, to what I'm going to wear, how my makeup's going to be, who I'm going to use for makeup. Every single decision in my life, for better or for worse, in my career, has been made by me. Today you have an entire team that's working with you. You have these young 17, 18-year-olds. All you can do is concentrate, focus only on your songwriting or on your music or whatever, and everybody else is doing everything else for you. Whereas it was not like that for me. I had to do it all. But where the album was concerned, I had a producer. So that in some way, I suppose, took the load off. But it's important to know what your input is. It's important to know what you're capable of doing. And it's important to know your limitations more than anything else.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. There was no management in those days. There was no social media in those days. I had to literally walk into the record stores and make sure that there were the right amount of CDs and it was visible enough for people to see so that when they walk in, they'll buy the damn thing, you know. And there was always a bone to pick, you know. I would keep bringing up the artist and A&R person in the company and say, listen, it's not visible. People don't even know it's out, or release some more CDs or whatever, you know. That was always a very big stress. Then I had a lot of family support and family and friends. Because of my parents' support, I was able to go wherever I wanted, travel with my shows. You know, they gave me the independence, they gave me the liberty to do that. And the essential difference, of course, nothing digital. I loved those analog days. Everybody loved them. But I mean, the scope and the access is so much more today. I mean, they literally have to pick up their phone and music is at their fingertips. It's huge. It's hugely different. But the good thing about it was that because it was so difficult to reach and access, there was always a mystery. And I kind of had the luxury of time. I had a 6-year gap between the release of Dhuan and the release of Talash. 5 to 6 year gap, yeah. And 91 and 96. And so after I released Paree, I mean, obviously there was this image that was created and everybody wanted me to do a formula thing. You know, record company kept saying, come on, release something that's similar. And I never wanted to do that. Every song on my album was completely different and every album was completely different to the others because I was working with different people and different aspects of my musicality were used in all of them. And also I had a little bit of a social conscience. So I always had, you know, either it was for the girl child or it was, like I said, unnecessary importance given to money, or Dhuan was an anti-smoking, anti-drugs. So there was so much of variety. And so people never kind of, there was never overexposure. They never got fed up. And I would be asked in interviews like, where have you been or whatever. But then if there's no album, then there's no interview. So I was happily doing my own thing. I could pursue other things. I could travel, you know, take breaks. relationships up and down, emotionally had to get stronger. There's so many things that go on.
Yeah.
But then, and then when people were expecting something, I gave them from this angelic Paree. Suddenly I was in a short leather skirt on a blast furnace with flames all around me and smoldering eyes going dheka dheka. They're like, whoa, what happened there? But they forgave me. They said, it's almost like from the angel to the devil I became. But they forgave me. And then after that I came up with Kesaria. So once again I was this happy thing with mirror work, holding a matka, very mischievous. So, people just took whatever the hell I produced, even though it was so little. If you think about it, it's not like I had hit after hit, year after year, year after year. But what I did, I don't know, somehow people remembered, retained,
Yes.
and still do,
Yeah.
and asked for it in my shows. And God, I mean, who could ask for anything more? So I think that's the biggest difference. Today, yes, you have management. Yes, you have somebody who will tell you exactly how you have to chalk out your entire path, like where you're going to eventually reach already when you're 17 years old. And you can actually do a lot of things and you can be known for it instantly. You can sit at home and you'll be known instantly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then you can be forgotten as instantly. And to really, really make a mark, then you have to sustain, and you have to do lots, and you have to do it regularly, and you should do it for a long time. Otherwise, you won't. I sustained for such a long time, and I don't feel I did so much, really. But what I did stuck.